Welcome to Omeo Podcast. It is me, your host, Ifa Bukami, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Ifa Toyin. And we're here to discuss today about Olokun and her relationship with Mami Wata. Sorry, it's been a long time that we have come in, but life is lifing as always. But we're back with another episode. And I'm going to open up with a little prayer to a local. Spirit of the ocean, please give me abundance so that I may become wealthy quickly. The spirit of the ocean is greater than the chief of the land. It is the spirit of the ocean that I turn to for abundance. The spirit of the ocean is greater than the chief of the land. Ashe. Olokun bless this podcast. Bless the people that will listen to this podcast. Bless with Iriaj, Iriomo, Iriopo, Iriaiku, Iripopo, Irishegun, Iriaiku. Um, Many blessings on this day of Odun Ella. Um, I pray Olokun will guide us to where we need to be this week. Um, that Olokun will bless us with not only wealth and money, but also wealth and character. That she will soothe our organs and our minds so that if we are suffering of any depression or any negativity, that she washes it away within her ocean, in her waters. And I also pray that um, it is you, Olokun, who dresses us in fine clothing and gives us what we need when we need it. So I pray Olokun listens to everybody's prayers today on this Ose and many other days. Ashe, Ashe. Now, so how you doing, Ifatoyin?
I am well. It's been a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta say, yeah, it's my fault. We've been busy. I've been busy,
Don't
but
do
we
that.
haven't forgot
Don't do that.
y'all. We are.
Don't even do that. Don't do that. It's not your fault. It's life, and the podcast will happen when a local says it will. Okay.
That's
A
right.
local,
That's right.
yeah. A local says we doing it today. No more. We're going today. So that's what we're doing. Oh, I almost forgot. We did have a question that
Oh, okay.
it came, doesn't say who it came from, but it's saying this was an amazing. This was amazing. Thank you for making this podcast. I'm interested in how Olokun comes up in other ATRs. I learned recently that in another Nigerian tradition, Olokun is treated as the Arumala. Hmm. And that's the end of the question.
Oh, Rumila.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm
Interesting.
guessing,
I wonder.
because in some places they only go to one Orisha. They don't go to
Yeah.
Ifa. They don't go to any other Orisha. They go to one. And that one serves, all their needs. Um,
Right.
and other ATRs. Well, we're doing Isheshe. We also, know a little bit about Benin. Well, me, I know a little bit about Benin. Ifatoyen, she has the Benin Olokun. So you'll
Yeah,
hear it
that's what
from
I'm
my
wondering. Like, I wonder.
What'd you say?
Hmm?
What did you say?
No, I was saying that's why I'm wondering, like, what? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay.
Like sometimes you go in and out. You know,
Oh.
keep your mouth
Oh.
close to the mic.
Okay. We gonna pray that this audio works out this time. It's been a little challenging.
Yes,
Um,
let me hear from you. Your
no, I
beautiful,
was
beautiful voice.
no, I was saying I'm wondering what tradition she's referring to because it would be interesting to know. But if she's talking about somewhere else in Nigeria or someone else in Benin, West Africa, or Central Africa, so it'd be interesting. I mean, I know that like you said, some people go to one Orisha for everything. So maybe she's referring to those who just worship Olokun and Olokun only and divine everything through Olokun. I don't know. That'd be interesting to know more about. Please tell us more.
Yeah, yeah, or like
Yeah.
Arumala is the head for most. Ifa is above all the rest and stuff like that. Um, in some
Right.
places. In some places, the Risha is above. Now, if you want to go to Ifa, you have that choice, but we're just going to this Orisha. That is, I think that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's
Okay.
cool.
Well, if that's the case, then that's pretty typical everywhere. Like even in Yoruba land, a lot of people only go to their Orisha. Not everybody
Mm-hmm,
goes to Ifa. So
mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's get
Um.
started. Let's start with Mami Wata spirits all over the African continent. Now, before we start, when we were, gathering information, learning about, of course, Mami Wata, and trying to put in the connection between Olokun and Mami Wata, we channeled, Olokun gave us questions, gave us answers to our questions, and that was beautiful to see, and so that I think that's really what was taking us so long. She wanted us to come to her, um, and ask her
Mm,
directly, and she would give us the answers to any questions
yeah.
or anything we needed to say. So go ahead, Ifatoyin. I've been talking to you.
Yeah. Well, let's just first put out the disclaimer. Neither one of us are initiated to Mami Wata. Neither one of us are Mami Wata priestesses. So a lot of this information, we were curious about learning ourselves. So we decided to try to look and see what we could find
Mm-hmm.
about, what is the connection between Mami Wata and Olokun. How are they similar? How are they the same? How do they relate to one another? What can we learn and be able to present? But with the caveat saying that we are not Mami Wata priestesses. So I just want to make that clear. Um, and from what I have heard, like on different sites and different videos and recordings that I found, a lot of people seem to mix up or conflate Olokun with Mami Wata and Oshun and Yamaja, and as if they're the one and the same. Some people do, some
Mm-hmm.
people don't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but from what we have discerned is that they are separate. They are different. They are not the same. They have a lot of similarities, but they are not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what she said.
Yeah, and that's what she. Yeah. So just want to
Hey.
clarify that and put that out there because there are more than a few places where people seem to say that they are the same spirit, just known by different names in different places. Some places call Olokun and Oshun and Yamaja Mami Wata, and some places don't. But no, they are actually different
Very
energies,
different.
different.
Very different.
Yeah.
So the Mami Wata spirits all over the African continent. Let's say,
Well, they exist everywhere. So I've heard of people talk about Mami Wata in West Africa. I've heard of them being mentioned in Northern Africa. I've heard of them being mentioned in Central Africa. So they are known all over the continent, but I'm not sure that everyone is referring to the same thing when they say Mami Wata. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Some places they are talking about mermaids in general. In some places they're
mm,
talking about a specific Vodun or a specific Orisha, or, but I think that's a general term that people use for marine spirits, for
yeah.
water spirits.
And we are
Yeah.
interested in bringing a Mami Wata priestess on, and maybe he or she can more enlighten not
Yeah.
only us but our listeners to
Hmm.
more in depth of who Mami Wata and the is, and you know give us more insight
Yes.
than what we have.
If
We are open to that. You
if
can,
if you are a Mami Wata priestess, or if you know of an initiated Mami Wata priestess, please reach out to us. We'd love to have you on an episode and kind of probe your, get your insight a little bit more, as to what we found. So, but in
what's our
general,
email? What's
Mami,
our email? Give them our email.
well,
They got
I
an
mean,
email.
you reach out to us through the comments. Our email is secondary because it's a little hard to access it sometimes. But you can reach us at omeo. What is it again?
Hold on.
Omeo.
Here. Oh my God! It's
This is what I'm saying.
Omeo pod without the C because she didn't put the C in. So it's pod ast@gmail.com. Okay. So
Okay,
again,
got it.
omeo pod pod ast@gmail.com. That is us. Okay. All right. Now, moving along. Okay, the image of Mami Wata, in general. I've
So
seen
yeah,
I've seen Mami Wata as from light skin, like white, to
yeah,
dark skin. It's important to
yeah,
note that it's Mami Wata probably is just not one. It's like a whole slew of them. You know, so
yeah. So
it can look like many different things. But she's a mermaid. Like that's all I've seen is a mermaid.
so Mami Wata is usually depicted as a very beautiful woman, in whatever context of beauty that exists in whatever region she is found. So,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
she she can be a white mermaid from Europe. If you're talking about a European mermaid, she could be African, dark skinned woman. If you're talking about West Africa or Central Africa, but even so from what I some information that I saw and I found is that traditionally back in the day, Mami Wata in Africa was always an African woman, a black woman. She's considered very beautiful, long hair, beautiful skin, young, um, gorgeous woman.
mm-hmm,
But in modern day times, I guess with the European colonization and more European standards of beauty infiltrating, she is often depicted as a light skinned woman or white woman, very pale skinned woman with long straight
mm-hmm.
hair. A lot of times she's depicted as a mermaid, sometimes not, but a lot of times uh, depicted as a mermaid. Sometimes you'll see pictures of her with a snake around her. There's always a snake um, representing part of her artistry. From what I understand, snakes are considered messengers of marine spirits. Even Olokun, snake is considered a messenger of Olokun. Snake is also
Mm-hmm.
considered a messenger of Mami. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times you'll see her with the snake, with the python. Um, but yeah, so that's how you see her, like in her statues, in the art that's depicted of her, in pottery, and all in her icons. You'll often see a picture of either a white or a light skin or some version of a beautiful woman with long hair and with a snake, either as a mermaid or just a woman coming out of the
Okay.
water.
Now,
Yeah.
is there a male Mami Wata? Like a
I did
male
see
type?
some mentions of a Papi Wata, but I don't really know enough about how,
That? Okay. Okay.
yeah, I don't really
Okay.
know enough about that to really speak on that. But I did see somewhere mention that there are also Papi Wata. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the same thing or if it's just a male version or if it's something different. But yeah, I did see that somewhere.
A Poppy Wata. That's crazy.
Right.
Mami Wata in Edo culture alongside Olokun worship. Um,
So what I can say, so the way Mami Wata is venerated and worshipped in Edo in Bini culture in Nigeria is more similar to how um, people worship Olokun in Nigeria. So is different from the Vodun from the other parts of West Africa that worship Mami Wata.
mm,
Mami Wata in Edo is almost like a separate Orisha alongside Olokun. So the shrines are very similar. The um, the things that she likes are very similar. In fact, most Olokun priestesses in Edo are also Mami Wata priestesses. Now, when I was getting my initiation done, the priestesses who initiated me into Olokun, of course, they were Olokun priestesses, but they were also all Mami Wata priestesses. And at the same time that I was getting initiated to Olokun, my Oluo at the time was getting initiated to Mami Wata. So they did kind of they did our initiations kind of together, kind of around the same time, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um, and so basically, how they kind of made it seem to me is that Mami Wata represents also, she gives money, she gives wealth, she gives all these good things, um she's good for commerce, she's good for like overseas trade and travel. um she gives a lot of the things that Olokun also that you go to Olokun for, but more consistent on the side of foreign extravagances, you
mm-hmm,
know.
mm-hmm,
um so like where you would give Olokun Efun, you would give Mami Wata kind of like, the modern day talcum powder, where you give like where Olokun's Elekes would be like coral and and seashells and cowries and things. Mami Wata would have like gold and diamonds. So it's like Mami Wata is kind of like was almost like the more modernized uh European fusion type of stuff, more integrated into her worship items and things like that
okay.
than a
Well,
Olokun.
Olokun did say that where Olokun is in Orisha, and then you have the Arumale of Olokun. Um, Mami Wata is totally different. She's not an Orisha. She is. another
Right.
spirit, and
She is
very
an she is an elemental spirit, so she's a
like
water spirit, but she's more like an elemental spirit. Yeah. She
like
Mami Wata
close
is
to
basically
Ewing spirits.
she is the head of all mermaids, so she is like the master mermaid spirit. And mermaids are not Orisha. Mermaid are elemental, you know.
Yeah,
So
and that she's
Mami
very good.
she Mami Wata is she's described to be very jealous. She can be very strict, very demanding.
Mm,
She will bless you and give you everything. Like there's nothing that you can ask for that Mami Wata won't give you if you are her devotee and if you give her the utmost respect and honor and place her as priority in your world. But
mm,
once you betray her or upset her or do anything that she doesn't like or really tick her off, she can destroy you and take away everything. She is much more unforgiving than Olokun. This is what I
mm,
was told. This is what
yeah.
people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
she is a little more um on level 10 where
You have to
Olokun
be on your P's
is
and Q's very much. So,
yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah,
she,
where Olokun is more, she's Orisha, so she can bless you, but you work with Olokun or not. If not, then she won't worry about you. But
yeah,
Mami Wata will punish you. Is a difference. Yeah.
yeah, like where you
Um,
at? Where's my offering now? More or less, very, very demanding,
but
and also told that if
like
you are not disciplined enough, don't don't
the
go into it.
of offerings is demanding and she wants and requires from you is just not ordinary everyday offering. She wants the most expensive things. She wants, she wants to have her own space. You have a shrine that is just for her, all to herself, with, decked out, you know, she wants gold and diamonds. She wants like, the fancy of the fanciest. She very much wants to be held in high esteem. Because, she's ready to give you the world. So people have to take Mami Wata serious. If you're going to go to Mami Wata, you need to take it very. Not to say that you don't take a locum serious or anything like that. Yes, you absolutely do. Um, but Mami Wata is not to be played with at all. Um,
It's just you just have to be
so
disciplined enough. If you
yeah,
want the blessings, um, you have to be disciplined enough to do what you say you're going to do. Um,
exactly.
you know, that's about it. And let me see. There is the connection. There's like there's Dan. I've heard of Dan in there as well.
Hmm.
Like I think they go
So
hand in hand. They're
in
not the.
well, okay. So in Vodun in Benin the country, not Benin Nigeria, but Benin the country. In Vodun, Mami Wata are a collection of water spirits. So there's not just one. There's a bunch of water spirits who are Voduns, and they are classified under the Dan spirits, which are air spirits and represented by the snake, or the and not just is both, and they're also classified under the Tohoshu, the water spirits.
Mm,
So there are two kinds of Mami Wata spirits:
okay.
the one connected to Dambala and the one connected to Tohosu, and they're mostly female. Like most of their adherents are female. And in
Yeah.
Vodun, people only. people tend to only work with the spirit, the Voduns, the elements that they are identified under. So if you are marked to be, if you're, if you go to a reading and they see that you are up, naturally or spiritually, energetically under the water or under a water element or under the air element or under the fire element, you only work with those spirits. You don't, it's not like in Nigeria, you could be initiated to a bunch of different Orisha,
Mm.
some fire,
Mm.
some air, water. Vodun, no, if you are of the water, then you are only working with water spirits. So if you are of the water, you're only working with Mami spirits under Tosu. If you are air, you're only working with Mami spirits under Dan. So
Okay.
it's very, you
Strict
know,
in that nature.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Like you
Okay.
just wouldn't go to a fire Vodun, if that's not you, if that's not under your alignment.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I've
that's the
seen
biggest
what
difference.
what what was crazy is that they could be a crab, a whale, fish, turtle, snake. You know, but
Uh-huh.
I'm like I've seen all these. I've seen them in dreams. Really,
Mm-hmm.
all of these. Um, Especially the whale and the sea turtle, and the snake. I haven't
But
seen
those
the
are
crab.
those are also Olokun. Olokun comes as those also.
Yeah,
So
I can see
yeah.
how people get them mixed up. Because they
Mm-hmm.
both use the same
Mm-hmm.
modalities to um,
Right.
do what they need to do. Okay. Now, I've
Um,
also heard of the Sibyls. Have you heard of the Sibyls?
I
Some people
have heard of the
can.
Sibyls.
Some people connect Mami Wata to the Sibyls.
Yeah, I think those are more connected to just mermaid spirits when they talk about the Sibyls.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, people when people say Mami Wata, people can be talking about very different things. So I don't. I think when we hear talk about the Sibyls, and if you've read that book by Mama Zogbe,
Mm-hmm.
um, the prophetesses of Mami, I think she's more talking about priestesses of the water, um, as in the Mami's working with mermaids or water spirits that are like mermaids. That's kind of what I gather. Now, if I'm wrong, somebody let me know. But that's what I kind of took from that.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
but yeah,
that's
both
it's
Mami Wata
essentially.
um, and Yamaja, they all bring prosperity. They all bring money. They all
Yeah.
are nurturing, maternal spirits. They all are very loving and give
Mm-hmm.
love, mates, good sex, all of that. That's all a part of their domain. That's the domain of the water, that um, that sensualism, that emotion, that free flowing, trade and commerce. All of that is a part of the water element. So you know,
Yeah.
um, all of the spirits
Wa-
kind of you can work with on, but they are very
Water.
different. Yeah.
Water has no enemy. So that's
Nope.
essentially um, the relationship between Olokun and Mami Wata. They both are very different. And like one is an Orisha, one is an elemental spirit. Even though Olokun is an element of water, but they are not the same. They should not be put into the same place. Even though the initiations kind of like sometimes can look the same, but they are very different. Their shrines look very different.
Yeah.
How they draw the bebes on the ground are very different. How they
Mm-hmm.
do the calling cards, everything is different. It's not the same They are not two of the same, or I don't even think they work with each other. Like you're over there and I'm over here. So, um,
I think they do. I mean, I think they can, because like I said um, in Edo, a lot of the same priestesses of Mami Wata are also priestesses of Olokun. Um, but they just there's just some minor differences, you know.
mm,
Um,
mm, okay, let's see that.
yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to say? If I told you,
Um, I don't think so. But again, like if you are a Mami Wata priestess, or if you know of a Mami Wata priestess, we'd love to do a part two. You know, we'd love for
mm,
you to come
mm,
on and share with us and expand our knowledge. If
yeah,
you have, other comments, please leave, comments in the comments section on either YouTube or Spotify, or wherever you're listening to us.
yeah.
Yeah, we'd
Like,
love to revisit this.
like,
Like and
share,
share.
subscribe. We are on all
Yes.
platforms from YouTube to Spotify to Apple, Amazon. We are on all platforms, and we hope that you will continue to join us on our journey to discussing further about Olokun. So, with that being said, Ifatoyin, can you take us out in prayer?
All right. Um, Ibashe Olokun, Ibashe Eshualaje, Ibashe Olokun, Ibashe Ori, Ibashe Aje. We give humble thanks and respect and reverence to our Olokun, the Orisha that guides us, that
Ashe.
protects us, that gives us everything that we need, that strengthens us, that cools and calms us, that brings us peace, that brings us good energy and positivity, that brings us wealth, wealth of health, wealth of knowledge, wealth of spirit, wealth of
Ashe.
character, wealth that comes with good family, good friends, um, and wealth that comes with peace of mind. We pray that everyone listening in our earshot, we pray for balance,
Ashe.
for bringing balance into their lives. We pray that the blessings of Olokun and the wisdom and understanding of who Olokun is and what Olokun brings will be upon everyone. We pray for cool and calm emotions. We pray for clarity. We pray for purity. Let Olokun cleanse and wash away fears, doubts, anxieties, sadness, disappointments,
Ashe.
and all negative energies, so that we may be able to attract with sweetness, with purity, with clarity, with calmness. We may be able to attract our wealth, attract our abundance,
Ashe.
attract our prosperity, to bring goodness and peace in our lives, and that everything that we want and need is at our fingertips at all times, and our eyes are open to see the abundance around us, and not the things that we lack, but the things that we do have and can value.
Ashe. Ashe.
Give thanks and praise for being with us through this podcast. Ashe, Ashe, Ashewa.
Ashe. Thank you for listening to Omeo Podcast. Tune in next time. We'll be discussing what will we be
I think we're
discussing
gonna
on
look
Putnam.
into Olosa, Olokun and Olosa.
I love Olosa.
So send in your questions. Send
Sending
in your
what?
questions.
Okay.
And tell everybody to send in their questions if they have questions about Olosa, or if they have comments they want to share about Olosa.
Okay. And also, if you want to join our podcast and speak about Olokun
Hmm.
yourself, you're also welcome to do so as well. Um,
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.